With the international break soon coming to an end, things at Arsenal are escalating as Mikel Arteta's Arsenal look to bounce back. Today we've got a major report in terms of the Emirates Stadium. We'll also get the breaking news regarding Nwaneri, find out what's up on Leandro Trossard, as well as getting an important update on the new sporting director. We'll get the latest on the centre forward targets, and get the breaking news regarding Pep Guardiola. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Baz14. Welcome back to your boys channel. I hope you guys are doing sensational and surviving during this international break, the final one of 2024. It will soon be over, but at Arsenal we've got a lot to break down. So as per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy and subscribe to the channel if you are new, helping your boy on his road to 300,000 subscribers. But starting off with the breaking Nwaneri update. Arsenal's star boy, 17 years of age, has so much potential and so much promise, having broken through into the first team this year and so many fans calling for a first team start. During this international break, he's been involved with the England under-19s, and once again the star boy has been shining, first scoring England's only goal in a win against the Lithuania under-19s. The goal itself showcasing an ability to arrive into the box and score a header. It's something very key to Mikel Arteta, that ability to crash that box. Cutbacks of course are a massive part of Arsenal's chance creation. Nwaneri is once again showcasing a very important fundamental. But the real impressive thing comes in the following game, this time scoring once again for England, as they beat Bulgaria's under-19s 2-1. Scoring a fantastic equaliser outside the box, firing the shot into the bottom right hand corner, and very intriguingly the assist came from Miles Lewis-Skelly. Both Arsenal star boys combining for the country as well. This is becoming trademark Nwaneri outside the box, showcasing that ability to provide that moment of magic. When you think about Arsenal and the amount of times we play against the low blocks, having a player that can fire off shots from outside the box, as you see on Man City over the past few years. Look at how they won the Champions League and the goal from Rodri. Then think about Euro 2024 and the amount of long ranges. Football is once again reaching a stage of individual brilliance, which Nwaneri has in abundance. More impressively, he has now scored in every game that he started for club and country this season. 2 against Bolton and a goal against Preston, so goals galore for the England under-19s. Across 41 games with the England youth team, Nwaneri now has 21 goals and 4 assists. This guy is not just the future of Arsenal, this guy is also the future of England. And there's one standout feature that makes him really important to Arsenal going into the future. Watching his highlights from the game against Bulgaria, time and time again we see a player so comfortable receiving the ball and turning first time, spinning in behind the opposition and causing so much chaos. When you watch these clips here, I don't think there's a single other Arsenal player that has that same ability. Potentially apart from Bukayo Saka, who's often playing out wide. It's very much Jamal Musiala and Phil Foden-esque. A profile that so many Arsenal fans have demanded for. Not only is Nwaneri fantastic outside the box and also has that creative spark, but what really elevates him is his dribbling ability. And an Arsenal side that's often so structured, all about passing and finding solutions. Having elite dribblers is how you break tactical systems. The ability to burst past players and breakthrough tactics. There's a reason why in the past 2 years you've seen Pep Guardiola sign the likes of Jeremy Doku and Savinho. With the departure of Emile Smith-Rowe, Arsenal have a clear gap in their team. That's why there's been so many Arsenal fans calling for Nwaneri. They see a hole and they see a solution. But in terms of his long-term future, having just signed his first pro contract only last season, 17 years of age and far more involved in the first team, the very reliable hand of Ozil has dropped a bomber, hinting at a new Nwaneri contract. And it makes a lot of sense why. Nwaneri is a calibre of player that will be a first teamer for most clubs. Even under Mikel Arteta, who's been a bit slow in terms of youth integration, Nwaneri is so good for me it's only a matter of time before he breaks into that first team. Wanted by both Man City and Chelsea before he signed his first pro Arsenal contract. He may not be a guaranteed first team, but the way he's developing, Arsenal realise they need to secure his future as soon as possible. But talking about international duties, let's talk Leandro Trossard. Having started for Belgium in their 1-0 defeat to Italy, playing all 90 minutes and dropping a 7.0 rating. He then once again started in their 1-0 defeat to Israel, but this time around he only played 37 minutes, taken off with an injury in the first half. It's exactly what Mikel Arteta was fearing. Having lost both Martin Odegaard and Calafiori in the September international break, then Saka and Martinelli in October, there's now the potential of losing Trossard in the November one. And having gone 7 games without a goal for Arsenal, he's not been in the best of form, but I don't want to see any Arsenal fans celebrating this. With the amount of important games that we have coming up and the fact that we need to have a massive winning run, even if Trossard is not a starter, his impact on the bench has always been undeniable. Scoring 17 goals for Arsenal last season, his role in the squad is still integral. Versatile enough to come off the bench playing the right and left hand side, sometimes even as a false 9. You then had both David Raya and Mikel Merino starting for Spain, as they beat Denmark 2-1. In terms of Raya, there were some standout moments in terms of passing, firing through balls between the line, but having conceded only a second goal in his last 5 Spain appearances. He actually dropped a 6.3 rating, mainly skewed by 1 error led to a goal. But then you had Mikel Merino dropping a 7.1 rating, playing 18 minutes, completing 35 passes, 3 accurate long balls and 4 successful dribbles, alongside of course 9 ground balls won. It's not the ground ball that surprised me, it's more the ball carrying. Having seen that cameo against Chelsea just before the international break, coming on in the second half and giving Arsenal that real left-sided number 8, He showcased the ability to play under pressure, attract players towards him and break through the lines. For me, it's now very interesting to see how Mikel Arteta uses Merino after this international break. Martin Odegaard is back and you've got Thomas Partey and Declan Rice. By using Merino as a more natural left number 8, as we've seen in the games against Liverpool and Chelsea, he offers Arsenal a profile they've lacked since Granit Xhaka, crashing the box time and time again as well. The fact that he's getting into so many goal scoring positions gives me the feeling he's also going to score some very important goals. On signing for Arsenal, as Mourinho has recently said, I was seduced by the fact that Arsenal was a team in the process of growth that had not yet won and wanted to win, feeling part of building a winning culture, and they also insisted they could help me grow more. In Spain's following game that was a 3-2 victory over Switzerland, both Merino and David Raya got a full 90 minutes worth of rest. What about the Mbappe of centre-backs William Saliba? Having rested in France's first game, he was back in the starting lineup in a 3-1 victory over Italy, playing all 90 minutes and dropping a 6.9 rating, winning 2 out of 2 ground duels and completing 60 accurate passes. In a French side that you often get a lot of flowers for Ibrahima Konate, for me it's the fact that Saliba is actually playing out of position, on the left-hand side with different passing angles, yet time and time again we still see that same level of composure, playing in the same area as Virgil van Dijk. Alongside Konate, France have got quite the formidable partnership. You also had Jurien Timber starting for Netherlands, as they beat Hungary 4-0. Timber excellent for 68 minutes, dropping a 7.3 rating, 3 ground balls won, 67 touches and 54 accurate passes. From a standout moment defensively with a fantastic block, to a thriving further forwards up the pitch, with some magical drops to the shoulder. With Ben White's recent operation ruling him out for 10 to 12 weeks, the importance of Timber has grown that much more. Having just returned from an ACL injury, Mikel Arteta warned him to be careful, but as we saw earlier this year on the right hand side alongside Bukayo Saka, watching that for the first time alongside Martin Odegaard, and Arsenal could have a very effective right hand side. And here was Timber in Netherlands' following game against Bosnia and Herzegovina, sat thankfully alongside his twin brother on the bench, getting a full 90 minutes worth of rest. The boys in Brazil were also involved as Brazil drew Uruguay 1-1, with Gabriel Magalhaes once again in the starting lineup. That's now 12 of 12 World Cup qualifiers started, dropping a 7.9 rating, the highest out of any Brazilian player. 2 clearances, 2 block shot and 2 tackles, 6 ground duels won and 2 out of 2 in the air, alongside 95 out of 99 passes completed, 6 out of 9 long balls. But more intriguingly, Gabriel Martinelli was also given a cameo off the bench, dropping a 6.5 rating. He was playing far more centrally and looking far more instinctive. And it poses the question going forwards for Arsenal. With all the talk of a brand new left winger and Martinelli's uncertainty, could he still have a future at Arsenal playing more centrally? Then you had Kai Havertz signing for Germany once again, as they beat Bosnia-Herzegovina 7-0, with Havertz on the score sheet scoring the 3rd goal, with a very impressive 9.1 rating, with 1 goal and 1 assist, 1 key pass and 1 big chance created. He wasn't actually starting as striker, more as a number 10, but ended the game with more shots on target than the entire Bosnia team, as well as touches in the opposition box. With 6 international goals now in 2024, that's more than Robert Lewandowski. It was a performance of real elegance outside the box, dropping deeper and linking up play with fantastic one-touch passing. Potentially it's a glimpse into the future, despite starting as a striker this year and showing signs of promise. With all the talk of Arsenal looking for a brand new centre forward, whether it's Victor Gyokeres, Alexander Isak, the fact that Havertz is Arsenal's highest earner means that Mikel Arteta will still use him as an integral part of the first team, potentially more though as a secondary striker. Having thrived there for Bayer Leverkusen, Havertz is a player that always relies on instincts, knowing when to arrive into the box and pick up the pieces. If he has a long target man to play alongside, we could see a very impressive partnership develop. Our top scorer so far this season. Comment down below what have you made on Havertz so far this season. Have you seen the signs going into the future to see him being an integral part of our long term? Because according to former Watford striker Troy Deeney, Kai Havertz is miles better than Victor Gyokeres. Moving on to Arsenal's exciting plan. In terms of the Emirates Stadium, a 60,000 seater capacity. Having opened in 2006, it was then seen as revolutionary. One of the first English sides to open a brand new ground. It looked magnificent and ahead of the curve. Fast forward to 2024 though, Spurs have gotten a new ground and you've got the brand new Wembley, with Everton and United both looking at new grounds as well. Come Euro 2028, the Emirates is actually being looked past, with both of the London grounds being Wembley and Spurs' ground instead. For an Arsenal ownership all about progressing Arsenal going forwards, having seen their stadium in Los Angeles, the magical SoFi Arena, the Cronkies have already shown the ability to make one of the best stadiums in the world. So with the demand for Arsenal tickets being higher than ever before, according to reports, Arsenal are now considering increasing their stadium capacity by a third to 80,000. No decision has so far been made, with an Arsenal spokesman saying, "We are continually looking at ways to improve our facilities. It's premature talk about any expansion plans at the Emirates Stadium." But would matchday revenue go from £24 million to £103 million in 2022-23? For me, it's only a matter of time before Arsenal start these plans. Make the Emirates Stadium once again the stadium in London, with the size of Arsenal around the world and the fact that we're so international. Not only will fans finally get the tickets they demand so much, but it'll also give Arsenal the biggest stadium in the Premier League, surpassing Old Trafford's 75k capacity. Not only would that increase matchday revenue, but also money for transfer fees, making Arsenal once again the club in London, The idea of a bigger Emirates Stadium is so exciting, potentially even able to hold a future Champions League final. In terms of the short term though, one thing Arsenal are looking for is a sporting director. Arsenal are prepared to look domestically and internationally to find the right person to replace Edu Gaspar, with candidates within the Premier League including Phil Gills, whose data-laid recruitment in Brentford is held in high regard. He is now being discussed at big clubs. The idea of taking a guy from Brentford of course is very intriguing, with so many good signings over the past few years. Less about scouting and more about the data. Look at their current strikers like Mbeumo and Wissa, former players like Ivan Toney. There's a reason why Brentford are still in the Premier League, despite not having major money to spend. The recruitment has been very smart, and of course to Arsenal that is very intriguing. But as the report claims, Arsenal are also looking internationally. That's why you've got this report from Sami Mokbel claiming that Bayer Leverkusen manager director Simon Rolfs is among the early names on Arsenal's radar as they begin the process of replacing Edu Gaspar. With the Mail Sport understanding, Rolf is among those who has admirers behind the scenes at Arsenal. And you know what, rightly so. A former German international and former player of Bayer Leverkusen, having become their manager director of 2018. You look at the Leverkusen signings of Florian Wirtz, Victor Boniface, Edmund Tabsoba, and of course the rival Xavi Alonso, having gone invincible last year in the Bundesliga. Simon Rolfs was the man behind that team, recruiting the right level of experience with Granit Xhaka. Rolfs showcased the ability to make a championship winning side, to throw in a goodbye inside that at times felt unstoppable. What's more intriguing to me though is his departures. Having sold Kai Havertz back in 2020 for £80 million, you've also got massive departures like Moussa Diaby and Leon Bailey. You then compare it to Edu Gaspar and the fact that Arsenal have always struggled for sales. The idea of bringing in a tough negotiator like Simon Rolfs, one of the best in the business. There's a reason why he has admirers at Arsenal. But as Sami Mokbel also claims, the Real Sociedad director of football Roberto Larbe has also emerged as a contender to replace Edu at Arsenal, following a decision to leave the La Liga club at the end of the season. Another example of Arsenal going for the best of the best. What seems to be a key part of the Arsenal recruitment process is experience at the highest level, European level of contacts that Arsenal could use to go and make their signings as soon as possible. Another candidate is Thiago Scorro of Monaco. As Gianluca Di Marzio reports, Arsenal are thinking of Thiago Scorro to replace Edu Gaspar. The Brazilian is the director of AS Monaco and has also worked for Red Bull, having only been appointed at the start of last season, with the record signings of Dennis Zakaria and Folarin Balogun. Last year Monaco finished second and returned to the Champions League, so far unbeaten this year, with 3 wins out of 4 in Europe. According to the report, Scorro has grown a reputation of being a tough negotiator, with a philosophy centered around organisation, human relations, and fostering a sense of belonging. But talking about Liga, there's actually an even more exciting potential opportunity. We're talking Luis Campos of PSG, formerly of AS Monaco. Luis Campos has been approached by Arsenal to take over from Edu, with Arsenal's interest being driven by Mikel Arteta. Campos has held a long interest in working in the Premier League. The reason why I say this is so exciting is because of his previous signings. During his time at Monaco, signing Martial Silva, Fabinho, Loman and Mbappe, then taking over at Lille, and signing Rafael Leao, Victor Osimhen and Nicolas Pepe. Not only are we seeing fantastic players there, but also fantastic sales. Luis Campos is regarded as one of the best in the business, and that's exactly what Arsenal need to be after at the current stage we're at. A win now stage where we need the trophies. With all the talk of Arsenal looking for a brand new forward, you then look at Campos' talent ID when it comes to that department. Kylian Mbappe, Rafael Leao, Victor Osimhen. His arrival could be that much more important going into 2025. It's very well known that Arsenal are looking for a new forward to take their team forward. And as things stand, there's 2 players that have come to a front. Both play for Sweden and both are thriving. We're talking Victor Gyokeres and Alexander Isak. Having both started in Sweden's 2-1 victory over Slovakia, both were also on the score sheets. Thriving in the front 2 in terms of Gyokeres, he dropped an 8.1 rating with 1 goal and 1 assist. With 22 accurate passes, 2 key passes and 1 big chance created. That's now 5 goals and 3 assists in his last 5 games for Sweden, with now 28 goals and 7 assists in 23 games for club and country so far this season. There's no denying this is the most informed striker in Europe right now, having thrived in the Champions League, Liga NOS, now also on international duties. Gyokeres' hype is reaching brand new levels. In a game that he once again showed his transitional ability, a fantastic first goal combining Alexander Isak, threaded in behind and finishing ruthlessly. The one thing I will say is in terms of Arsenal and our ability to play against low blocks, when you look at most of Gyokeres' goals, he actually gets given a lot of space, hurting teams in behind and on the counter-attack. The question is, can he still deliver in those tight spaces? When often teams park the bus against Arsenal, congest their box and try to force us out wide, does he have the technical ability to still be able to thrive? Because in terms of availability, as Duncan Castle claims, Gyokeres is not currently keen on joining Manchester United, but the player is available for around 70 to 80 million euros. But where things really get crazy is in Sweden's following game, a 6-0 victory over Azerbaijan, with Victor Gyokeres on the score sheet 4 times, making it now 32 goals for club and country this season, with 12 goals in his last 5 games, asserting himself as the most informed striker in Europe. In 2024, he now has 58 goals in 54 games, which when compared to all-time standards of most goals in a calendar year, he is 12 goals behind Cristiano Ronaldo's record of 69 in 2013, but nowhere near the record of Messi, 33 goals off the 91 record year. that guy just wasn't real. There is a debate developing in the Arsenal fan base, comparing him to Alexander Isak, who in this game himself dropped a 9.6 rating, also getting 1 goal and 1 assist. But with 4 out of 5 dribbles, 4 key passes and 1 big chance created, this was an even more complete centre-forward performance. With 5 goals in 11 games so far this season, 4 in 3 for Sweden. His Newcastle future of course is a massive doubt, because as Graham Bailey claims, Isak's camp is currently in shock by Newcastle's stance of a new contract, with the expectation that he will leave Newcastle in 2025, especially if they don't seal Champions League qualification. Having just turned 25 years of age, Isak is a player that deserves to be in the Champions League. Seeing him thrive in those tight spaces, dribble past player after player, there's a reason why he was once compared to Thierry Henry. 6'3" with a lot of pace and power, with the ability to make something out of nothing. According to Team Talk, Arsenal have made Isak their top attacking target, while Newcastle will consider Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Jonathan David as replacements, with both becoming free agents in the summer. With the number 14 available and of course the comparisons to Thierry. When comparing both Isak to Gyokeres, my question to you guys is who is the more complete centre forward? Because in terms of price tag they will both be similar, looking to leave their clubs in 2025. Gyokeres may be more of a goal scorer, but Isak has that bit more magic, an ability to burst past players and break through the lines, a profile that Arsenal don't currently have. When you think about the Champions League and the need for counter-attacking threats, both Isak and Gyokeres will give Arsenal transitional inevitability, something that we don't currently have. But the concern for Isak may be his injury record, having already missed 7 games this year with a broken toe. Over his time at Newcastle he's had quite a few injuries, missing 19 games back in 2022-23. You then compare that to Victor Gyokeres. According to Transfermarkt, surprisingly, he's yet to suffer a single injury his entire career. For me, it's inevitable Arsenal are going to sign a big centre forward, so I'm going to throw it to you guys down below in the comments. Victor Gyokeres or Alexander Isak, who do you think is the perfect centre forward for Arsenal? But to round the video up, we've got the breaking news regarding Pep Guardiola. With his contract having set to expire at the end of this season, many people claiming this was going to be his final year at City. Fabrizio Romano now confirms Pep Guardiola has agreed to stay at Man City for 1 more season, a new contract valid until June 2026, with an option to extend until June 2027. City will always confidently keep Pep, having never spoken to any other coaches. News that will have a major impact on Arsenal in the next 2 years. Looking to win their first title in over 2 decades, Guardiola has dominated the Premier League since arriving. 4 out of the last 5 league titles, trying to make it 5 in a row, while City might currently be on a 4-game losing streak. As Arsenal fans will know from the past, you never rule out City when it comes into a title race. For Mikel Arteta, things are going to be harder than ever before, with 89 points not being enough last season. This year also up against an informed Arne Slot's Liverpool. The title race has just become that much more interesting. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow me on social medias, the links are down below in the description. But that was all of your latest Arsenal news today, with the international break soon coming to an end. The return of Arsenal is around the corner and big games are coming thick and fast. So my friends, we will speak very soon and I'll see you next time. Take care and a bit.